Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core Studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I've got a really fun one for you where I'm going to be talking about some commanders that are impossible to kill. Let's jump into it. Again, I've talked about episodes where, they are the targets, the commanders that you absolutely have to take out right when they come into play. But these commanders, well, it might already be too late, because it's going to be really hard to take out Tom Bombadil. That's right, this God Bard is super hard to take out. A 4/4 God Bard, like I said, for 5 mana, the best color combination, Wooburg, all the colors. As long as there are 4 or more lore counters among sagas you control, Tom Bombadil has hexproof and indestructible. Yeah, okay, so this one has a little bit of a requirement on it, but again, it's really not difficult at all to get 4 more lore counters on sagas, obviously, that you have, because this commander is all about sagas, and 4 is a pretty low requirement, and also something like Proliferate exists these days, and yes, again, having hexproof and indestructible, that is a very potent combination of things where this cannot be targeted by your opponents at all. And also, the destroy effects do not affect it. A lot of things don't affect it. It's really hard to take out. Whenever the final ability of a saga you control resolves, reveal the top card of your library to reveal a saga card. Put that card on the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This ability triggers only once each turn. So yeah, you are racking up sagas while you are doing this. You're getting so much value out of this. I mean, with each trip around the table, you can get 4 sagas out basically by taking out your sagas. And of course, you got other ways to get things back, you just have so many ways to get so much value out of this commander, all while, again, it's just sitting and playing. Your opponents are racking their brains being like, how in the world do we deal with a Fleecemane Lion commander? Anyone else know Fleecemane Lion back in the day in Theros? No? Just me playing that, in a Glade Cover Scout, Boggles deck? No? Okay, anyways, it was a lot of fun. That being said, again, hexproof indestructible equals really difficult to take out. Again, not impossible. It is not impossible, but you do need a board wipe that does not target and that actually, doesn't, worry about indestructibility. So again, either exiling or, forced sacrifice, but it definitely limits the options for your opponents when it comes to taking this out because it has 2 incredibly potent and really hardy keywords. So Tom Bombadil fans out there, have fun keeping it in play. And opponents of Tom Bombadil, good luck taking it out. Next up, we've got Aison, Angel of Hope. The Angel of Nightmares for many opponents, though. An 8/8 Angel for 8 mana in total and mono white. Flying, Vigilance, Indestructible. On top of that, other permanents you control have Indestructible. And yes, you have to say Indestructible like that all the time if you're playing Aison. Your opponent's like, I destroy that. You're like, Indestructible, no. So, Aison only has half of what Tom Bombadil usually has, again, with the Indestructible and Hexproof. That being said, Indestructible is incredibly potent, number 1. Number 2, giving your other permanents Indestructible, yeah, that can make it so that Aison is nearly impossible to deal with. I mean, you can obviously very easily equip, let's just say, Lightning Greaves or Swiftfoot Boots, and all of a sudden then you've got an indestructible equipment on this commander that then also grants hexproof as well. Of course, there's other equipment as well that make it so that Aison can't be sacrificed, or that you could, I don't know, blink it, I guess. That'd be on Aura. I think there's an Aura like Flicker form that does that. That being said, the fact that Aison is indestructible already makes it incredibly potent, number 1. Number 2, it makes it so that, again, the things that you get into play to support Aison, to protect Aison, to build up your board, are also really difficult to deal with, and again, those things sometimes can also make Aison even more impossible to take out. So yeah, this Angel of Hope is, again, the Angel of Nightmares for your opponents, and once it comes out, it's probably not getting taken care of anytime soon, if at all. So yeah, definitely the Angel of Destruction at that point as well. Definitely a fun commander, and a frightening commander, all in one. Alright, buckle up for this next one, Purphoros, God of the Forge. Now, I am just using Purphoros kind of as like the example, I would say, of all of those Theros-type gods that, like, hey, their devotion is this, not a creature, and also they're an enchantment creature, and they're indestructible. Because Well, let's read the card first. A 6/5 legendary cherry creature god for 4 mana in red, indestructible. As long as your motion red is less than 5, it's not a creature. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under control, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. By paying 3 mana in total, creature control at +1/+0 until end of turn. Now, those last 2 effects obviously are incredibly potent, especially the ping all of your opponents, impact tremor style, but 2 damage. Oh my goodness, you can take your opponents out so quickly with something like this. That being said, obviously those things don't make this commander any more difficult to take out. The thing that does is the thing that, again, is the exact same thing among all those Theros gods, is that, hey, number one, they're indestructible. Again, that's already a really good thing. That makes them really difficult to take out. Number two, though, yeah, they can dodge like a path to exile. So because, again, they are not always a creature, again, just being an enchantment in play that is indestructible, that's one of the hardest things to take out, in my opinion. Again, when it comes to like the easiness versus hardness to take out, say, permanent type, typically I would say that in Commander, in a format like Commander, the easiest things to take out are creatures. Again, the most likely kind of wrath that you have is like a Wrath of God type effect that takes out all creatures, right? So, well, I mean, that wouldn't affect us anyways. That being said, when it comes to the hardiest type of enchantment, the hardest type of permanent, it's an enchantment, in my opinion, when it comes to taking things out. They typically stay on the board quite a bit. And having an indestructible enchantment makes it so this is incredibly potent and really hard to take out. Yes, it becomes slightly more vulnerable when it does become a creature. That being said, yeah, you don't even have to build around it actually becoming a creature. Or maybe you've got ways to like go like, oh, well, you're about to take out my Perforos. Maybe I just take out my own permanent so that it's no longer a creature as well. So, you've got ways to do that. Yeah, all these gods, essentially, all the Theros gods are incredibly potent, which is why they're very popular. They are kind of like just like a build around like a trigger type of a commander that you can pretty much guarantee is going to stay in play for quite a long time. So, yeah, utilizing them as such can be very, very dangerous, very, very incredible, and very, very fun for you. So yeah, Perforos God of the Forge and all the other Theros gods, you are really, 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 really difficult to kill. You're not ready for this next pick, though, because it's yet another god, but from a different plane and going about things in a different way. Let's talk about the Scarab god, but of course, this is kind of also illustrating with the Locust god, as well as, what is it, the Scorpion god? That's the least popular of the 3, but still a very cool god. A 5/5 god for 5 mana in Dimir. I always wonder why it's not an insect, because it's also an insect, right? Like, come on, like, that's like a, I guess it's a humanoid insect, but still, come on, like, look at that face, a face that only a mother could love. Ew. Anyways, at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses X life, and you scry X for X the number of zombies you control. By paying 4 mana in Dimir, exile target creature card from a graveyard, create a token that's a copy of it, except a 4/4 zombie. When it dies, return to the battlefield. Sorry, not battlefield, that'd be just ridiculous. Return to its owner's hand at the beginning of next end step. So, this is one that, again, even if it is taken out, it's going back to your hand. Even if an opponent happens to take it out, it's coming back. And with this color combination in particular, with, I mean, I guess all the, Theros gods, I guess, no, Locust god's not in black. But yes, for the ones in black, and for this one in particular where you have, say, like a zombie go-wide strategy, yeah, you might have some free sacrifice outlets in there too, so even if opponents trying to, say, exile this, or again, if you have, like, an edict effect, you got ways, essentially, to take your own Scarab god out if they're trying to, say, exile it or whatnot, and you're like, okay, it got taken out, it's back to my hand, I'm gonna replaying it. It's going to keep coming back again and again and again and again. So again, even though this one can be killed, it just keeps coming back, and it will not stop coming back, and your opponents are going to be in, well, big trouble, because they're going to be getting drained a ton. You're going to be able to dig down through your library to get the right creatures that you need, the right cards that you need, and you can, of course, make incredible copies of anyone's creatures out of graveyards. Oh no, it's only a 4/4 zombie. I don't care. It's an Eldrazi. It's got Annihilator too. Good for me. Yes. And all the other amazing things you can do with it as well, plus it populating too. Have fun. That being said, again, when it comes to gods, they all typically have some kind of a hardiness to them, a difficultness to actually get rid of them permanently. They go about it in different ways. Again, the Theros gods are, hey, we're indestructible, but we're typically enchantments, so it's like we're here, but we're not here, because we're not creatures, but we are not creatures. We might be creatures at some point. Whereas these ones are like, oh, I'm dead, but I'm not. I'm coming back again, and again, and again. Yeah, the gods are really difficult to take out. Things are just heating up, though, because next up we've got yet another god. I just realized that apparently, I forgot that Tom Bombadil, I already just said it obviously earlier, is also a god. So literally just like so many gods are so difficult to take out. I guess everyone I've talked about so far outside of Aison has been a god. I promise there are non-god creatures coming up at some point, okay? That being said, like I mentioned, yeah, the gods are incredibly hard to take out, and they go about it in different ways. Orcas Devas Growth is a 6/5 god with trample for 5 mana in green. I picked this one as a representation for, again, all the gods that are like this, essentially. Just giving you an example, essentially. That being said, it says whenever it deals combination to a player revealed that many cards to the top of your library, you may put a creature card and or a land card from the battlefield with the rest of them at the bottom of your library in a random order. Now, unless that creature or land or whatever gives this, a way to protect itself, that's not really applying to why this is impossible to kill. Why it is, though, is because, again, when it dies, return to the battlefield tapped and transformed under its owner's control. Because of that, it flips over into the Temple of Cultivation, a land that has tap for a green and has pay 2 and a green, tap, transform it, activate only if you control 10 or more permanents, only as a sorcery. So, the reason why I chose this one over all the other gods in Lost Caverns of Ixalan is that this one really illustrates just, well, how easy it is to just flip it back over again and again and again. The other ones have very easy requirements as well, I would say. Like, I thought their requirements would be a lot more difficult. But no, it's just like, oh no, my commander died. Cool, it's a land. All right. I flip it back over by literally having, again, only if you controlled 10 or more permanents. Okay, hey, I'm playing commander. Am I at 10 permanents? Yes. Cool. All right, flip it back over. So again, like literally, this one doesn't even, like, it doesn't even take a long time at all. Literally, you just get back to your next turn. You're like, okay, untap, pay 3, flip it back over. It's my commander again. Yay! Yeah, they are very difficult to take care of. And again, like literally, technically, they're never like leaving play, really. I mean, technically they leave play. I guess when they die, hit the graveyard, come back into play, though. So that is leaving play. But like, again, like in that cycle, in that turn, they are literally like, okay, I left. I'm back, but now I'm a land, so I'm technically still here, and then you can flip me back over again. So yeah, these gods, the Lost Caverns of Ixalan gods, really, I mean, might be the most potent when it comes to, oh, you got rid of me, I'm back. Haha, now I'm flipping over again. It is very, very, very hard to stop. It is very difficult to get these forever gone, and again, not necessarily in green, though. I guess if you have like Greater Good, which could definitely be a good card with this kind of a commander, if you've got a sacrifice outlet, if you've got a free sacrifice outlet, it makes them nearly impossible to actually take out. Again, because your opponent's going to be like, okay, like, I path to exile your commander, and you're like, sacrifice it, draw some cards, discard some cards of Greater Good, and then it's coming back into play as a land. Ha 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 ha. And then next turn, flip it back over, and then if anyone tries to deal with it again, or if you just want to draw more cards, just keep doing that. So, yeah, the Lost Caverns of Ixalan gods. We got apparently just all about the gods right now because they are very, very hard to deal with. But I promise we are going to be getting to some non-god creatures starting up next. Regardless, the gods from Ixalan, hard to deal with. In fact, unless I am mistaken, I don't believe there's any more gods coming up, so there you go. Rammy, First of the Fallen, is a vampire. Not a vampire god, but maybe after it's on the battlefield, your opponents might consider it a god because of what it can do. A 5/4 vampire for 4 mana in Sultai. If a non-token creature would die, exile card with a blood counter on it instead. As long as an exile creature card with a blood counter on it has flying, Rammy has flying. The same is true for, here we go. First strike, double strike, I was going to say hexproof, and I was going to skip them. Death touch, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, protection, reach, trample, and vigilance. There we go. Key in there, right in the middle, are hexproof and indestructible. All the other ones are more, I mean, they're not like protective, essentially, right? I guess first strike is technically protective in combat, but obviously that just is rendered, useless when it comes to it being indestructible. Yeah, it is. Oh, actually, I guess I forgot protection's in there too. So protection, again, applying to so many potential things like protection from colors, protection from creatures, protection from sorceries, instants, a lot of things. Yeah, this actually literally might be the hardest thing out of anything out there because, again, not only can it have hexproof and indestructible like Tom Bombadil, but again, also having protection makes it so that, yeah, there can be a scenario where this is near impossible to take out. Again, yes, there are certain things that can do it. There's always going to be something that can do it. I don't think it's ever possible, unless you can, like, lock your opponents out of casting spells or activating abilities, which, sure, then that is a way itself to protect it. unless you've got a way to do that, there's always going to be a magic way to actually take something out, whether that's like an edict effect or whatnot. So yeah, this is something though that again is super hard to deal with. Yes, you do need to actually, get those non-token creatures to die. That can happen, though, with your opponent's creatures even. Just think about that. Like, your opponent's got a creature that's got indestructible. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, your Perforos is a creature? Cool. All right, I'll play an Edict effect if you don't have a way to get rid of your own Perforos in a different way, like bouncing out your hand or, not taking it out from being a creature. Then all of a sudden, yes, I've got indestructibility on my Rammy. So there you go. Although, actually, that one gets exiled and goes away. That was a bad example because it's commander. But yeah, anyways. This is one where, again, it could be your opponent's creatures. It could be your own creatures, of course. And yeah, you can build like a keyword soup type deck around this commander where you're like, okay, I get this in play. It's got 3 keywords. Cool, good for me. Sacrifice it. And all of a sudden, it is going to be something massive for me. So yeah, being able to do that, you're able to, well, yeah, just make it so that you are in a great position with a very hardy commander that is really hard to deal with, and if you can pump it in other ways, it can just be an unstoppable force that can basically be unblockable as well too. Have fun taking your opponents out with this gem. Here's a card that might surprise you, but if you saw a recent episode where I highlighted Nezal, it might not, because I absolutely love Nezal. I've mentioned this before, but Nezal was my very first episode on this channel, a deck tech around Nezal with a Voltron Nezal deck, which Nezal sees a good amount of play in Commander, but typically it's in the 99. I'm here to tell you, go play it as your Commander, because once you play it, it is never getting off the board. This actually might be the most impossible Commander to kill, ironically, again, even though it doesn't see that much play as a Commander. Yeah, go play it. It's amazing. It's so much fun. A 7/7 Elder Dinosaur for 7 mana in blue. It can't be countered. You have no maximum hand size. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, draw a card. Discard 3 cards, exile it, return it back to the battlefield under its host control tapped at the beginning of the next end step. And it's also got Island Walk. Okay, it doesn't have Island Walk, but maybe it should. Bring it back, Wizards, come on! Maybe Island Home too, probably not. All right, so Nezal is one that, again, literally can't be countered to start things off, okay? So just, unlike any of the other commanders I've talked about so far, your opponent can't even stop it from getting into play. Okay, unless it's like, I unsubstantiate that, sure, Yeah, okay, sure. I mean, you can, like, bounce a spell back to its owner's hand versus countering. It's like, I didn't technically counter it. Yeah, okay. Sure, that's a scenario, I guess, where you could say, like, yeah, okay, you can stop it somewhat. That being said, typically, rules layers out there, it's going to hit play, it's going to stay in play, it's never going to leave play because, again, you simply at any point can just discard 3 cards, which might seem like a lot, but again, keep in mind that you literally have a Mystic Remora with no pay option for your opponents in play at all times. So again, when your opponents are casting any non-creature spells, which is typically how they be trying to deal with this anyways, you get a card back when they try to do so. And you have no maximum hand size, so you're going to be having like 10 plus cards in your hand all the time. So all of a sudden you're like, okay, an opponent casts a spell trying to deal with this. You're like, no. Discard 3 cards, it goes away, and it comes back at the end step, which again is massive for, an opponent casts a board wipe. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. Yeah, I'm just going to go, all right, you leave, you come back, and yeah, you missed the board wipe. Awesome. Good for me. Being able to just keep discarding those cards and having that massive hand, Nezal can be so difficult, if not impossible to deal with, especially when you build your deck properly with this one, where you also have other ways to fill your hand. Maybe a card like Trade Routes, where you're like, okay, I can bring lands back to my hand if I absolutely need to, so I can utilize those to discard them. You've got other ways to protect this too, where you can give it like, say, Swiftfoot Boots. So it has Hexers, so your opponents actually can't even target it anyways. Then that makes it so that obviously, hey, only board wipes are really dealing with it, and I can, again, whenever a board wipe occurs, just bounce it, get rid of it, it's coming back. It can avoid all the other pitfalls that basically all the other commanders that I've talked about so far potentially have, and it is so hard to deal with and so much fun to draw those cards. Everyone out there should give it a try. Nezal Primal Tide is a very, very, very hardy commander, very difficult to deal with, and very fun. Make sure you check out that episode, and please, please, please be gentle to me in the comments below. It was like my first time recording one of these, okay? So I tried my best. This next one changes the perspective on everything, though, because Yuriko the Tiger Shadow, yeah, this one is hard to kill for another reason. A 1/3 human ninja for 3 mana in Dimir. We'll skip that first part because that's what I want to really highlight. But yeah, whenever a ninja you control deals combination to a player, reveal the top card of your library, put in your hand. Each opponent loses life equal to that card's mana value. Absurdly potent. Card advantage plus massive draining. ouch. There's a reason why this one's a game changer, technically, right, compared to all the other ones. And Commander Ninjutsu, there we go. For 2 mana, Indemir, pay that, return an unblocked attack you control back to your hand, put this card on the battlefield from your hand or the command zone, tap then attacking. Yeah, the reason why this one is basically impossible to kill is because it's not impossible to kill in a way. Let's just say that, okay? If your opponents take it out. Usually, again, in Commander, oh no, you took out my Commander. It's going to cost more to cast next time. Oh no, you took out my Commander. It costs even more now. Oh wow, I got to pay an extra 4. I got to pay an extra 6. I got to pay an extra 8. Oh, this is getting so expensive. Yuriko becomes cheaper. I mean, doesn't become cheaper. Basically, Yuriko always costs the exact same, which is 2. 2 mana every single time you want to play it. Because you just say, okay, I get one of my many creatures through that is unblockable. I've got a lot of low-the-ground creatures. I'm getting this out on turn 2 basically all the time. And all of a sudden, I just return an unblocked attacker, and there you go. My commander's back in play for 2 mana. Oh, board wipe happened. Okay, back to the command zone. All right, next turn. Yep, all right, get another attacker out. Maybe it can haste it up. Whatever I can do. Okay, oh yeah, sweet. All right, it's coming through, and unblocked attacker. Yep. You just have so many opportunities to get this commander out again and again and again and again, all while generating so much card value, all while generating so much pain for your opponents by taking away their life. And yeah, it's a commander that, again, is a game changer, obviously, for a reason. It is a commander that is so incredibly potent. I mean, I think it's on the salt. Is it on the saltiest commanders? It might be up there as well. Because, again, it is so impossible to take out permanently, where your opponent's just like, all right, I took it out. Don't worry, everyone. Else the next turn, it's like, it's back for, like, no mana. Okay. Yeah, this is getting to be unfair. Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow, you are easy to kill, but also impossible to really kill. Now let's switch things up, though, and talk about the Dragon. Now, this one I am using as a placeholder, basically, for all of the Eminence commanders, because technically speaking, they are making an impact on the game. In the Dragon's case, maybe one of the biggest. I mean, Edgar Markov, you could definitely argue for that one as well. But when it comes to Eminence, it is basically like having a ley line in the command zone. Your commander's like kind of like, the way I picture it's like your commander's an enchantment that is just like phased out, but your opponents can't deal with it, but it still affects you. I don't know. It's like you have this ley line in play that has like hexproof, indestructible, it can never be targeted, it can never leave play, those guys. You just have a permanent effect, literally, just like from the command zone. Wizards, come here. Eminence was a mistake. I'm just going to say that. And they brought it back again with the Knights commander. Anyways, a 10/10 dragon avatar for 9 mana in Wooburg. But again, that mana value doesn't even matter at all. Because literally, again, Eminence, as long as the Dragon is in the command zone or on the battlefield, other dragon spells you cast cost +1 to cast. Literally, again, just, hey, I'm in the command zone. Cool, the game has started. Awesome. From turn 0 on, I have an impact on the game. I can't be dealt with in the command zone. You can do absolutely nothing to me in the command zone. Not yet, actually. I mean, maybe in the future they'll make some way where it's like, destroy a commander in the command zone. I don't know how they do that. Or like, oh, Wizards, here's a fun card. Ready. I got it real quick, okay? You get to play an opponent's commander from their command zone. It comes to play under your control. Like, come on! Rip the Dragon out of the command zone of an opponent and put it to play under your control. Come on, Wizards! They would never do that. Maybe they would. Anyways, again, the Dragon is something that you don't even need to ever play. Yes, it's amazing. It's a 10/10 flyer. Whenever one or more dragons you control attack, draw that many cards, and you put a permanent card from your hand on the battlefield. It's a very powerful, incredibly powerful effect from a 3-shot KO commander that can very easily become a 1-shot KO commander with, like, a little bit of pump and a double strike effect. This is a commander that is so potent, though, again, even before it's on the battlefield, because Wizards is printing basically with every single set. I mean, even in Bloomborough, they're like, yeah, there's a bird dragon. That makes sense. We also got horse dragons, I think. Anyways, cat dragons. We get so many dragons no matter what the set is, and they are always so incredibly powerful. It is insane. Absolutely insane. And by making them cost less, and of course you got other powerful, dragon tribal effects out there too. Yeah, this is an incredibly potent commander without ever even stepping onto the battlefield, essentially, right? So, this just sticking in the command zone, which again, at this point, is impossible to ever deal with. until Wizards does, print that one, commander out there that's like, hey, you can play your opponent's commanders from the command zone. Please, Wizards, come on. I mean, that would probably be banned right away because there'd be people like, how dare you, my strategy! No! I mean, it'd be very mean. It'd be very salty. But yeah, until that is printed, the Dragon is, again, basically untouchable. You cannot stop it from doing its thing, which is just literally, hey, I get free mana for my dragons, basically, right? Like, I just get to have them cost less, and that's going to make me incredibly potent because I get them out so much quicker. So the Dragon, even though you might never get on the battlefield, it is unkillable because, hey, you literally can't touch it when it's in the command zone. It still has an impact on the game. Basically, ley line from the beginning. Dragon, you disgust me. So do all the other Eminence commanders. But, yeah, you just are what you are, and you're unkillable. Finally, this one might be cheating, but I'm going to say that Child of Alara is unkillable because, well, because of the consequences, because of the implication this is going to just destroy the board. A 6/6 Avatar with Trample for Wooburg, 5 mana. Again, the best color combination. Again, I told you, we're not going to any more gods after the 4 gods that we started off with after Aison, right? When this dies, they'll destroy all non-land permanents. They can't be regenerated. Again, this is one that you literally want to get taken out. Again, you have a commander that is just a time bomb, a ticking time bomb in the command zone that you then play, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, it's here in play. All right, yeah, all right, let's wipe the board. Again, it is not unkillable. There are no things protecting it, right? It doesn't have Indestructible, doesn't have Hexproof, doesn't have protection or anything. It doesn't have any of those things. What it does have, though, is a giant threat. It says, hey, I am just going to destroy this board. I'm a Wrath in waiting. So all of a sudden, hey, try to take me out. All right, yeah, go ahead. Just try it. I actually want you to do that. I am building this deck in a way where I have maybe other permanents that are indestructible that can survive the Child of Alara blast, essentially. Or, hey, I've got things that actually want to get taken out. Or I don't even have anything else in the deck. I just have Child of Alara, 99 lands. And again, everyone, I am sorry for putting that out into the world because, yeah, there are certain tables out there that are pretty upset with me that's a thing. Now, that being said, I did mention the video, I believe, and I'll mention it again now. If you have built a 99 land Child of Alara deck, please, please, please ask ahead of time if your opponents are okay with playing against it, because all you're trying to do is just get to play and sacrifice it again and again and again. In fact, I think Child of Alara kind of is the type of commander that you probably need to ask every single time if your opponents are okay with you playing a massive board wipe that takes out everything again and again and again in the command zone. But yeah, again, that's why this literally is impossible to kill, where your opponents are very, very, very wary of it, because if everyone is at a decent position, I would say, if everyone has a decently built up board and they don't want to restart, they're not going to take it out. They're going to do everything in their power not to take it out. They might even try to stop you from taking it out. You might cast something that's like an edict effect and like, oh, no, 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 no. And you're like, yeah. You're like, no, 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 no. So then they counter that edict effect so you can't actually sacrifice it. So literally your opponents might try to stop you from taking out your own Child of Alara. But of course, you probably have ways in the deck to make sure that you can, again, just sacrifice it. So, yeah, Child of Alara, again, a commander that has no inherent protection. Again, no protection, no indestructibility, no hexproof. But what it does have is, hi, I'm a board wipe. Take me out, please. And no one's going to want to do that. So Child of Alara, also impossible to kill. Again, commanders can be really, really difficult to kill for many reasons. Sometimes it's literally just they have two of the most potent keywords in Magic of all time. Hexproof Indestructible for Tom Bombadil. Again, one of the many gods. Let's go with the gods first. But yeah, again, being Hexproof Indestructible makes it really difficult to ever target. An impossible target for your opponents, actually, really. Indestructible, yeah, can typically get rid of, most problems. Purphoros, not even a creature most of the time. So again, not being a creature makes it so that, hey, yeah, you can't really take me out with like your regular removal spells when it comes to getting around indestructibility, like Path of Exile. Scarab God, again, like, hey, oh, you're gonna take it out? Okay, it comes right back to my hand. I'm gonna replay it, and all of a sudden, again, it's back again and again and again. And also I have in a color combination where I can sacrifice it myself if I need to, if an opponent's trying to exile it or whatnot. Or Orcas, again, like, hey, the Lost Caverns of Ixalan gods that, oh, they're going to die. They come back as a land, which is super easy to flip back over again and again and again. Again, the gods apparently are all made incredibly hardy. Rammy, though, maybe even the hardiest out of all of them once it gets those blood counters on the things that matter. Again, Hexproof, Indestructible, and any kind of protections, that might be the most potent thing when it comes to trying to take things out. Opponents are going to have a really difficult time. Or Aison, again. Aison, the one that says, hey, I'm indestructible. All my other things are indestructible. and many of those things might make me even more difficult to deal with, so I can be very difficult to take out. Nezal, though, literally can't be countered, so it's going to be coming into play as it is most of the time, again, unless your opponent's like, I have an unsubstantiate. Good for you. Okay. Regardless, being able to just keep discarding cards, and you have a massive pool of cards to discard from because it's going to keep drawing you so many cards. And then it comes back, you can avoid board wipes as well coming back at the end of the turn. Or how about, again, Yuriko, who like, oh, okay, you took me out. Doesn't matter. I'm going to pay 2 mana to come back into play next turn. And then again. And then again, and then again, never paying taxes ever, just skipping out on taxes, Yuriko, my goodness. Or the Dragon, who literally never has to come into play at all, ever. I mean, yes, when it comes into play, it's incredibly potent, but it doesn't have to come into play to make a massive impact in the game. In fact, I've been, in many of Dragon decks I've played against, have never played it. They're just like, oh yeah, I've got all these other great dragons to play. Cool, I'm playing all these. All right, I win. Cool, good for me. Or how about finally, again, Child of Alara, who, again, has absolutely no protection. Again, like, against all the other commanders I've talked about, kind of that either can come back super easy, or, again, have all these protections, or can just bounce like Nezal and then come back later. Child of Alara has no protections, but it just has the, again, the threat of, I'm going to wipe the board if you take me out, so don't take me out. And again, even in fact, sometimes your opponents are trying to stop you from taking it out because they don't want you to wipe the board. So yeah, Child of Alara, definitely the exception to the rule in this episode, but still impossible to kill. And with that, this episode is coming to a close, so it's my turn to hear from you. In the comments below, let me know your thoughts are on this episode. And of course, as always, thanks again, and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all their support.